Hello everybody and welcome to episode 14 of the third season of Planet FPL. My name's Suj.
My name is James.
If you listen to the other episodes, you'll know who we are and you'll know it's international break and you'll know that we're doing a Q&A special.
Which generally means anything goes.
Anything does go. Questions and answers. Let's crack open these beers. Oh, cheers.
Slancher. I genuinely sent this tweet out about 11 o'clock this morning asking for questions. I believe there's a fuck ton. And I genuinely have not read a single one of them. So there's no planning for this.
I've read about 5.
It is just questions.
So I'm not much better than you, really.
And go. If there's more than 50 odd, with not excluding replies, then that's about 2 minutes a question.
Yeah, I think some will be quicker than others. Some will be 10 seconds.
Okay, should we just go for it?
I just saw a question here, for example, from Keith at Keith Honas. Keith Honas. Where do United go from here? Championship. Next. Oh, is that the mood we're in? Is it a salty one today? Where do United go?
United aren't going to go down. This fucking nonsense talk.
I'm joking, but
they'll finish 16th.
Nah,
they won't. They'll be in and around the top. They'll be in and around the top 6.
It's more the question around where does the club go? Like, it doesn't feel like it's got its identity anymore. We don't see the youth coming through in the way we did anymore.
Mourinho's apparently accepted a job somewhere.
Oh, said who?
Twitter. The Lyon president had said that he'd made a proposal to Mourinho, which he was flattered by, that he couldn't consider because he's already accepted a job somewhere else. It's got
Real Madrid.
Man United. It's going back.
Could you imagine that? That would be the weird. That would be like Kike Sanchez Flores going back, but on steroids.
I've said numerous times over the last couple of years on this pod that if Pochettino walked, he might get sacked this time, but if he walked, the first person Levy would go to is Mourinho.
Oh, you think so?
Yep.
And what makes you think that?
Because I know that he tried to get him a couple of times before. He tried to get him each time he got bombed out of Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I know he'd look at that and think, yeah.
What do you think it's about?
I would not want him, by the way.
What do you think it is about Levy that Poch likes so much then?
What that Poch likes?
No, sorry, Levy likes. Sorry, what's it about?
About Mourinho's, it's the winner mentality.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still got it, but he's had it for sure, hasn't he? So
yeah, he has in the past. I agree with you.
The thing is, the flip side of it is you go, if he comes in,
yeah,
he might stabilise a side that looks defensively shot at the moment.
Yeah.
And there might be a trophy on the board.
Yeah.
And people keep saying, where's your fucking trophy? But it's not long-term planning. You know, within 2 years, he'll have pissed everyone off and you'd have to replace him.
Burn out a bunch of players and off you go.
And the style of football does not appeal to me. No, okay. Thank you.
Let's move on. We don't have time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that. Jimmy Mac and Cheese at Claret FPL. Jimmy, how are you? Haven't answered a question from him for a little while.
Well, he's here.
Indeed. Which reality TV show would you have the best chance of winning? I don't know that. What about you? Are you into like snakes and shit to go into the jungle?
I would be awful on that shit. Imagine me and you are Strictly. X Factor. We got the voices, haven't we?
Don't speak too soon. University of Bath ballroom and Latin dance sport team, 1999 to 2002, was me, mate.
So you're saying
I can waltz, I can quick step, I can jive, and I can cha-cha. Albeit that was fucking 15 years ago, but I can waltz and I can quick step. I would fucking kick ass on Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah.
I'll have you know. If you Google that shit, you won't find anything because that was the days pre-Facebook and stuff, 99, 2000, 2001. But I can waltz and quick step and with the best of them, mate. Yeah.
Okay, you never invited me for that night out, baby.
No, not yet.
I've got no talents.
I would never go in the jungle. Fuck that. That's the one I would never do.
I could probably win Big Brother by like not being racist or not pissing anyone off or something like that. I don't know.
Oh dear. Adam P at 35who, first time caller, long time listener.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
Which current players do you think would make the best and worst managers?
Oh, that's a good shout. Immediately thinks of Spurs.
You know what? It's interesting. This is one question.
I was going to say Harry,
sneak peek at, and I said Noble straight away. So I think we gravitate towards our captain.
Yeah, I can see that.
Where you see players that have been at one club for a long time and naturally risen up in leadership, your Lampards and Gerrards and stuff. You'd always eye them as potentially good managers, but then it didn't work out for Neville.
Yeah.
Harry, so maybe not necessarily there.
I've never been good at this. The one I'm sure I've answered this sort of question before. I've said I always thought Teddy was going to be a good manager. Never did. And people respond to me going, "Are you mad? He's always on the piss playing poker and all that." And you think about it, and go, "Yeah, actually." From Spurs at the moment, I suppose Kane.
I want to see Paolo Di Canio as a fucking manager.
I think Toby would maybe be a shout. I'm just stuck thinking about Spurs at the moment. Granit Xhaka.
I think did Rob Green, the keeper, not have like 2 degrees or something like that? Yeah, did he have 2 university degrees?
Degrees make you a good football manager.
I don't know. Use his brain a little bit.
Was he got a degree in mathematics? He'd be a great football manager.
I seem to remember it, but maybe I'm wrong. Someone, one of the footballers who was quite bright. But I think, the guys that are like real natural leaders, but it doesn't always equate to the best managers. Who knows, to be honest with you?
No, the thing is as well, like the evolution of the football has changed a lot. You don't have your kind of chest pumping Tony Adams or John Terry's, those kind of players anymore. These leaders of people, inspirational on the pitch leaders like Lampard, Gerrard, these sort of players don't really exist as much these days. Perhaps it's because of there's so much foreign influence in our leagues now. Difficult to say. With a lot of the foreign players, you don't really know if they're how well schooled. You know, someone like David Silva, for example, who you might not see as a leader, but some of the people he's been coached by, like someone like him, right?
Yeah, quite possibly. You know, there's a few that I would love to see Mario Balotelli fucking turn into a manager. That would be fucking genius. Him or even Mendy. Can you imagine them as a fucking co-managers? Whatever happened to co-managers? You had
co-managers never fucking worked, right?
No.
The closest you've got now is the Cowley brothers who've gone to Huddersfield from Lincoln and have started okay. I think they've won more games under...
I remember Kirbishley and what's his face at Charlton.
Steve Gritt, was it?
Yeah, as co-managers. But
the Cowley brothers, I think, have won more games at Huddersfield since they've been there than they'd won the whole year, I think.
Really?
I might be right in saying that.
Yeah.
I saw they beat Hull either the Saturday gone or the Saturday before, and it was the first time they'd won on a Saturday for nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
Imagine
that. Let's talk about, Alex Daliel. Alex, when your sons are grown up, will Spurs or West Ham be the bigger club? Well, what's grown up? They fucking behave like they're 16 now and they're only fucking 5 and 7. So.
That's just me and Suj.
Yeah. Will they? Okay, I'm going to refuse to answer this on the grounds that it's a dumb question because of the bigger club stuff. I heard a debate on TalkSport last Monday when I was driving in after Everton had lost the weekend and Leeds obviously doing quite well and looking to come back up into the Premier League. And they were having a debate about who's the bigger club, Everton or Leeds. I don't understand what you're trying to achieve by figuring out what's the bigger club. What are you basing that on? Money in the bank, players, number of trophies, stadium size, legacy.
So who's the biggest club in this country?
The biggest club.
There's only one answer, mate.
Manchester United.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so, but what? Okay, they've got the biggest stadium.
Yeah.
So you probably have to have 5 or 6 different criteria, right?
Exactly. So what I was going to say is, who's the second biggest?
Well, right now, obviously, actually City, sorry.
No, it's Liverpool.
Yeah, okay, Liverpool. I don't think City are far behind Liverpool.
And yet Liverpool haven't won a league for nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
So, you know...
What are we judging this
on? I'm judging that on size, fan base, historical.
Yeah, we're only talking like 10,
and there's
10 to 15 years.
There's no exact metric, but Suj doesn't want to answer the question because he won't like the answer.
More than likely, it will be Spurs.
Yeah.
With the new stadium and all the rest of it.
You got a new stadium?
It's not purpose-built though, is it?
It's not a football stadium.
No, it's not purpose-built. 10 to 15 years is not enough. Like, look, you've been in the Champions League how many years now?
Was it 4 years in a row now?
4 years. And it's still not enough to say that Spurs are properly broken in. Like, there's still doubts about, say, Arsenal versus Spurs, for example. Arsenal have not been in the Champions League for however many years. You have, but it's still not enough to say yet that you could say that you were the bigger club.
No, not at all. No,
so
at the moment...
It takes
no,
20 to 30
at the
years of
moment,
consistency.
you would say Arsenal's the bigger club, and you have to factor that in terms of what's happened over the last 20 years.
So yeah, I think Spurs, without a doubt, but because I think it just takes a long time of consistency.
We used to take the piss out of Chelsea, saying, your football club kind of got invented in like 1994 or something. But what they've put on the board in the last 25 years is more than what most people will put on in 125 years,
sure.
right? So you can't argue that Chelsea's a big club now, always fill their ground, etc. You wouldn't say that because Chelsea's Stamford Bridge at the moment is only sort of 42,000 that they're a smaller club than West Ham. I mean, that would be ridiculous talk. So I think you measure that over a number of different metrics.
Ricky Saunders at Ricky Saunders 77, and we're going to answer his questions because he has put that they're quick fire ones from him.
Go on him.
Will Aubameyang be pushed out wide again when Lacazette's fit?
Possibly. I know Adam is doing his individual Pordio.
Adam in audio
at 35 Who. He hasn't recorded it yet, but I think he'll probably release it next week. And I've asked him the same question: will he go back out wide when Lacazette's fit? My guess on that would be yes.
They do have, like, now that Saka's been playing and stuff, I don't know whether Saka will continually get into the side, but they do have a more natural winger there in Saka that allows Aubameyang to play forward.
But
and
I'm not sure if Aubameyang on the left will harm his returns. Yeah, that's the point as well. So,
would you go with Vardy or Aubameyang? There's a real price difference between them, a good couple of million.
Yeah.
Fixtures wise, you've got to like the look of Vardy. For me, it's Aubameyang.
That sort of question needs a two in it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it needs a Vardy and or Aubameyang and. So if it's a choice between the two, I mean, Aubameyang through the course of the season, I'm sure will outscore Vardy. What you measuring it on as well. I'd say Aubameyang in the next couple of weeks, but perhaps between now and December, maybe Vardy.
There's a case for Vardy. I think
there's
quite a lot of captainable fixtures for Jamie Vardy as well in that time. And the final one from Ricky Saunders is it worth holding on to Son for the Watford game? Because he thinks he'll be benched, personally.
Yes, it's worth holding on.
I've got him at the moment and I'm going to hold on. If there's any kind of inkling and signs that he's not and Kevin De Bruyne is fit, rather than going from Mahrez back to Kevin De Bruyne, I'm going to go from Son to Kevin De Bruyne.
He plays for South Korea on Tuesday morning. So
okay, it's quite a lot of time.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
He'll be straight on the plane as well.
Yeah, well, in theory, he'll be back in the UK, worst case, sort of Wednesday afternoon, I suppose. So then it's just a case of not would he play against Watford. He probably won't start Watford and Red Star Belgrade on the Tuesday. He probably will only start one of the two. I've got no idea what Pochettino's going to do come that Watford game. But I'm not sure you can sell before that.
Yeah.
But you do probably want to come off straight afterwards, so I accept that people will.
Sure. We have a new listener, FPL Husker Do.
Hello, Husker Do.
I don't know what it's all about, but by flattering us and giving us praise, he or she has managed to get their question onto the pod. And so now you all know what you need to do.
You know, we said we'd read out all of these.
We're trying. I'm trying. If you leave comments, likes, shares, thumbs up, say nice things. What else can they do? Send us money? No.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Send us money? No, they can't send us money. That's how you get your questions on, although we're going to do all of these. I'm new to the podcast this season, but I love it. You know when someone says but and you think a negative thing is going to come out?
But you chat so much shit.
My questions are about you guys and the chemistry it has. There's a few questions here about how long we've known each other and all that. It's like coming up to 3 years nearly.
Yeah.
We'll answer them quickly. How long have you both played FPL? For me, this is my third season properly because every other one I've given up by Christmas. James, you're longer.
Yeah, I don't factually know because I changed email address. I think I first set up a team, in 12-13. I had a very good season the year before we started recording, which was 16-17.
Yeah.
So serious since probably 15, but I also kind of basically self-taught myself. I was thinking about this earlier in terms
Self-taught yourself what, FPL?
Yeah, in terms of like, I never knew things like price change websites and the Twitter community and things like that existed. We didn't go on Twitter until we'd released about 10 podcasts.
It's true.
So I never knew that. I never knew that this world existed. So I used to just track transfers in and transfers out to try and work out what was happening in the market, and kind of self-taught myself to watch it nightly before I knew that there were algorithms that could work out what was close and what wasn't.
Yeah. They also ask who's got the best FPL history. That's a no-brainer. It's James. I've never even broken the top 250k, so forget about it.
It's coming.
But I do get branded as an FPL expert from time to time, so it just goes to show that you can market anything. It's possible to polish a turd.
When's your latest FPL FYI happening?
Whenever they publish it, today, tomorrow, sometime now, in the next couple of days. And the last one, whose idea to do a pod? And that was definitely me. All the dumbest ideas are mine.
Yeah.
So
we've told it a few times, but for the newer listeners, Suj basically came up to me and went, "We're doing a podcast," and I went, "Okay."
Yeah.
There isn't a lot more to it than that. I thought it was going to be one podcast, and then he said, "Do you want to do another one?" I went, "Yeah, okay, yeah, cool." That was it.
Just so we know, you're talking about how you're self-taught. So there's a kid in my eldest son's class, Tammy, who's a really good footballer, to be fair, who's playing FPL. He's 6.5 actually, turning 7. I found out only 2 weeks ago that he's playing FPL. So now when I drop my son off to school, I'll see him. There's 2 kids there. There's one called Arthur, who's a proper Spurs fan.
Good lad.
And I always just shout him, "Oi, Arthur." And he looks at me and he knows that I'm going to give him grief about Spurs straight away. He just walked up to me and he goes, "Yeah, we lost to Brighton." Just started shaking his, "Yeah, we lost to Brighton." I was like, "I wasn't actually going to go in on you today, but you know." And then the other one walked past me. I was like, "Damien, how many points?" And he just face just dropped and he goes, 26. And he's 7, right? He's such a little cute guy. And I was like, I got 30, mate. And that was it. But they're schooling themselves at 7.
Nice.
So how he's got an email address and created a profile, I have no idea.
Well, he selects our differential team, obviously.
Yeah. No, he's quite bright. His team was actually all right. He captained Aubameyang.
Who does he support?
That's the funny one. The kid's that age. I took to his dad at birthday parties. 1 week it's Arsenal. Next week it's fucking Barcelona. The week after that is someone else.
He ain't that fucking bright then, is he?
No, he changes his mind like the wind. There we go.
Okay.
Let's go to Morpheus Fire. At Morpheus Fire, we know him well.
Good
Live
lad.
show regular. Callum Wilson or Tammy Abraham for the next 4 weeks. Has Mount.
I was listening to who got the assist on the way in this morning.
Yeah.
And Tom's fucking all in, and he's like, "Yep, getting Wilson in, gonna captain him." I've messaged him today. I said, "That guy's gonna define your season." And I've seen him I've seen Callum Wilson break some FPL Twitter accounts. Yeah. I know people have muted Wilson. Hello, Mr. Soldier, FPL General.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big call. He has.
I've got the armband.
I have to say, Tom's case for Callum Wilson was bloody strong. Did make you go, yeah. Actually, when you look at Bournemouth's fixtures, I was instantly thinking of the Sky game, thinking, yeah, I ain't selling Harry Wilson for a month now. them fixtures ain't too bad.
Yeah,
Wilson or Abraham? I think Abraham. Was the call between the two.
I went with Wilson on my wild card, if that helps you, last week, because I knew that I could move from Wilson to Abraham if I didn't like it because he's cheaper. And that Norwich fixture next week, like on my dead team, bus team, sorry, not bus.
There's only 1.1 in them now, is it?
It's getting closer, but it's still enough that I can make the move. He's got the armband at the moment in my bus team, mate.
Abraham.
He has.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
They're both very captainable in game week 9.
Yeah. And he also wants to know how my new phone is. It's still there and it's still working. I'll tell you what, you stop caring about the kind of gadgets and
one of the
gizmos.
things they had...
The new app is shit.
They had Alex Ball on, who's really good, Alex Walk Baby. And they was having, the three of them, Tom and Nick, was having a discussion about kind of us all missing out on captaincies so far this season. And I got the sense from that game week 9 is going to be so split between people gambling on sort of your Wilsons, Abrahams, people sticking their neck out to stay with a Mane or a Salah or a Sterling. Then you got people like me who's still going to back Kane. They'll be all Aubameyang owners.
Yeah.
So I think game week 9, and that's really nice and good, by the way, that we might even go into game week 9 and I don't know, the most captains might only be by say 15% or something. That would be good, because what was remarkable about the last week was there was quite a big split.
Yeah.
And everybody missed.
Yeah.
In spite of that split. So even though most of us had a shit week, we didn't lose any major ground because it was only the Mane owners that got rewarded.
Fair play. Ready for another question?
Yep.
Right. This one's coming at you from FC Crooner. Croonino. Who wins in a tag team fight between the Vardys and the Rooneys?
The state of this, mate.
Who
it's
wins
all
in a tag
over
team
my
fight?
fucking timeline, for God's sakes.
But who wins in a tag team fight?
And I learned something else as well, which I haven't Googled yet, but I might do in my spare time on a secondary device just in case.
Tell me.
Was this Daniel Lloyd's got involved, didn't she?
Oh, has she?
Used to go out with Jamie O'Hara, slept with most of the Spurs team, allegedly, so some people say, in the late noughties.
Was she a boot model?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair play.
And apparently there's a photo of her with a Pringle round her bits, which is quite famous. I've never seen it personally. I might have a look for that later.
Okay.
Apparently you might need a bucket next to you when you look.
Yeah.
Who would win between...
If there's one thing about Jamie Vardy, as quick and wiry as he is a skinny little guy.
I'd go for the Rooneys. Yeah.
Rooney would sit on him. And obviously Colleen's born and bred in Liverpool. If she's Toxteth as well, which Wayne's from, then she ain't fucking losing in a scrap, mate.
Well, I think Rooney's family's got a history of boxing and stuff as well.
Yeah, they're tough around there.
And Vardy would just rock up, wouldn't he? He'd rock up for the fight like high on about 15 cans of Red Bull and a port. He'd be bouncing around like a lunatic.
Yeah, I can just see Wayne sitting on Jamie, so he can't even move, and he's just sitting on him.
Do you reckon? The
Rebecca
two boys
Vardy, elbow dropping him?
I reckon they're meshing each other, going, "Oh, fuck's sake, mate!" I reckon they're all right with each other.
Probably.
And they're just like, "Can you fucking believe this?" I don't know, mate. I had a fucking word. She won't listen.
Oh, dear. There's a question here for you, and I haven't read this, but it starts, James, would you rather, ...
Oh,
so
God.
I feel like this is going to be a bit stupid. Let's have a go. Coming from FP Lucky F Plucker. Anyway, you can never watch or listen to a Spurs match again, live or on TV, radio, but everyone...
Listen, I'll take whatever the other option is.
But everyone knows you're a Spurs fan. Or you can go to the games and watch and listen, but at all other times you have to wear an Arsenal shirt and everyone thinks you're a gooner.
Oh, what kind of a question is that?
Yeah, not a good one.
No, I'll take the Bury out of existence. Next question.
The Bury?
Yeah, like Bury Football Club. Like no football, fuck it. Yeah, that's my team. Yeah. We just don't exist anymore. We don't support others.
I don't think you can change your team.
No, of course you can't.
FPL Belgian, at Belgian FPL. Why do you play FPL? Do you have specific goals in it? Why did you start making a podcast about it?
That's the best question ever. Just stop there. Yeah. Why do you play? Actually,
it's amazing how tone of voice
can... Why do I play?
Yeah. I played because I played more seriously because of the show.
Yes.
100%. I couldn't give a shit before, I'll be honest with you. I love my football, but I couldn't give a shit about the game. But then it just unwrapped into this gift that's given us hours and hours of wasted time.
And we're still wasting time.
Yeah, we are. Oh, we got.
Is there something about goals as well?
Jake, can you do me a favour? Can you bring me a pen when you come in next? That would be amazing. Goals, yeah. Why do you play FPL? We've got a new producer. Do you know that?
Yeah, Jakey boy. Was he Jake Child?
He needs a new nickname.
Jake Child.
Also, he was cheeky enough to try and sneak a question in. Why have your YouTube videos been so good in the past 3 weeks?
He's put that as a question.
No, he was trying to.
Oh, I see.
As in he's been making the videos.
Jake's been doing a lot of the editing and he's very good, actually.
Yeah, there we go.
Now he's back in, we'll slag him off.
We're talking about you now on the show, Jake. There we go. Cheers, mate. Yeah. So, what are your about goals?
Go on.
Mine's top 100k for this season.
Mine's to beat my personal best, so top 20k for me.
I just tick these off.
But it's getting harder.
It is.
It's not just the volume of the players, but I've already kind of given an example, right? So that year I hit 20,300 or something. I finished. I can't remember, But that was through my own self-taught, no Twitter community, no understanding of price changing, etc. Making chip strategies based on my own beliefs.
Yeah.
And the longer it goes on, the less people like that are going to be. And the more informed you are, essentially the better decisions you can make, really. So it's getting harder because there's more knowledgeable players out there.
Fair play. Question coming in from Ronan Mehigan. I really want to get good at pronouncing his name, honestly. Mehigan. Have you ever played Football Manager or Championship Manager?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
For me, that was a one-word simple.
Yeah. I haven't loaded it up for about 18 months. The last time I did, I told this before, Ebbsfleet United are about 9th in the Championship. With the little one, I just haven't got the time because Football Manager is not a game you can stick on for half hour, an hour. When he's 18, I think I'll be back on it. Maybe I can get him into it. If he's anything like me, you'll love it. You'll be on it day and night. It's the best game in the world.
I did play when I was at secondary school with my mate Robin, so it would have been about 14, 15. But I only had Championship Manager Italia, so you had only the Italian teams in it. I do remember just being able to play with the Italian teams back then. But yeah, I was never really into it. And to be honest, there's no time.
Did that fall off the back of a lorry or something?
Fuck knows. He gave it to me. I don't know.
Who gave it to you?
My mate from school back then.
Did he not give you the English version?
No, I don't think he had it.
Was it in Italian as well?
No. It was in English, but he just had the Italian teams and players. Long time ago, yo. Benjamin J. Miller. I think Ben's in the States, right?
Yes, he is.
He is. So, from your playing days in Sunday League or youth, assuming that you had some, which we played at school and all the rest of it, you still play a bit. Which current player would you liken yourself to?
It's an easy one for me.
Me as well.
Yeah, go on.
You go first. You were first off the blocks.
Harry Winks.
Harry Winks, eh? So you got Harry Winks and Kevin De Bruyne here sitting right in front of you. I had it all, mate. I had the pace. When I used to pick up the ball, I'd drive at the defence. I used to be able to cross, shoot. I used to be able to tackle. I'd track back. I was centre back. I was centre forward. Yeah, I was just like an Indian Kevin De Bruyne, mate.
Nobody's got any knowledge of this, but if you want to see James play football, Barnet Power League, 9:00, most Thursday nights, you'll find me there.
Yeah, we've got a question coming in from Christopher Goddard as well. I just read it and I'll read it. It's one of those that there's just no way of knowing. Who would win out of you and me in a penalty shootout, 5 kicks in each other's goal? We will make that happen at some point. Early next year, let's do it. Because we haven't got the time to go out for football now.
We'll hold that.
Yeah.
We'll hold that.
We should do it because all we need is a camera and a football. And
Who's asked that question?
Chris Goddard. Make sure in January you hit us up again and be like, yo, you said you were going to do a penalty shootout.
That's it. No, not January, man. It's freezing.
It's 5 kicks. You can wear gloves if you want.
Let's do that. Let's find full-size pitch. Probably we'll get Manchild and Jake Child to come and film it. We'll do that.
Yes. Okay. FPL. Back to FPL. FPL Skippy. What's the best value FPL player there has ever been? Oh. Can I chuck one out there?
Go on.
2 seasons ago, 9.5 million midfielder tore the entire fucking game apart. Mo Salah. For that price, then he was pretty hot because you'd automatically try and look at the bottom, right? But nearly 300 points from a 9.5 million player, quite possibly the best value ever.
Yeah, I mean, as we kind of alluded to, I can't go back to the price and then the noughties and stuff. And Jolyon Lescott's season of 11 or 12 goals or something, some of Leighton Baines' values and stuff. But the two that spring to mind is obviously Vardy and Mahrez from the Leicester season.
Yeah, Mahrez was the one that really stood out.
It started both 5.5 maybe.
Something stupid. It was ridiculous prices.
So, I mean, from a value perspective, it would probably have to be them. Maybe, I think Kane's breakthrough season, although it obviously wasn't from earlier, he finished on 20 plus goals despite not starting the league game till like November. I'm sure he started that season at 5.
Kane's breakthrough season was 5.
He was 5 million, yeah.
I still think, I don't know, Salah a couple of years ago was incredible.
Dele Alli, that Leicester season as well, I think was 5 million.
Okay, a few more FPL questions. We had the Aubameyang or Vardy question from Ricky Saunders, but Lee Thompson wants to know Aubameyang or Wilson over the next 2 to 3 game weeks.
That feels like an easier call to say Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Got 2 home games Arsenal after Sheffield United away. Although they are uglier on paper than they look. Arsenal have a long run of fixtures, but if you take the next 4, I think it's Sheffield United away, Palace at home, Wolves at home, Leicester away. It's not as pretty as it should look, I think.
Yeah.
They're all the sort of games that Arsenal are well capable of tripping themselves up in. You'd think, particularly Wolves at home is a sticky one. I've already told you they get beat at Sheffield United Monday week. Certainty.
Jimmy Mac and Cheese had a second question, so we'll answer it so I can put a line through it neatly on my nice piece of paper. Thoughts on Yarmolenko and how long is it worth holding him for? Well, I would definitely hold him for at least the next 3 game weeks. You're going to ride him through Everton away, which is going to be a tough fixture, but then Sheffield United at home and Newcastle United at home, 2 home fixtures. You have to hold him on for that, because if you're not going to keep him for those home fixtures, why did you bother buying him, to be honest?
Yeah, I've got a similar problem with my differential team at the moment, where I obviously want to... Sorry, not my differential team, the Southern Softies team, where I obviously want to move from Allaire to Abraham, but I've got other issues that are more pressing, and I do keep looking at them West Ham fixtures and thinking I've either got to do it now or I'm definitely holding Allaire for those 2 afterwards.
Yes.
So yeah, I would certainly hold for the next 3. Yarmolenko scored twice at Goodison last season before the injury as well, right?
Yeah, that's when we had Arnie. They'd started to develop a little bit of chemistry back then, which now is all done and dusted.
Wow.
Nicky Pesco, who would you like to see at Spurs when Poch leaves?
Is that like I can have any manager in the world?
Well, okay, let me read the whole question because there's a second part of it. Who would you like to see at Spurs when Poch leaves? And I fancy Mourinho to go to Everton when Silva's been sacked. Do you think he could make it work? So, is that the job that Mourinho's accepted? Surely
I'd
not.
love to see Mourinho take a job like that.
Yeah, test him a little bit more.
I don't know. Where would that be that worked, though? You know, if it was 3 years in and they still weren't getting in the top 4,
yeah,
would he himself be happy with that? Or would it be a job to get his name back out there and go, oh, he's doing well? If I could have any manager, if Pochettino went, honestly, I would take Klopp.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I can't take Klopp.
Not Pep.
But if you're saying you could have any manager, yeah, I would take Klopp.
Klopp seems to have a bit more longevity than Pep. Pep's done 3-4 years and on, 3-4 years and on.
I just love the style of football. And that's no slight on Guardiola and the way his team plays. I just, there's been points, at Spurs' good points in the last few years, we've played with similar intensity, and that's been the most enjoyable years I've had watching Spurs over the last 30. So to have something similar to that is what I'd want to do. It wouldn't be kind of breaking the team up to a completely different style. Like if Guardiola walked straight into Spurs at the moment, it would be shite. I think Klopp would get them going straight away, honestly.
I'm with you. I like Klopp I just think he's fun as well.
A more realistic target. Allegri's available, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. You think you could get Allegri?
Yeah.
I feel like you guys would go for a young
but I think
maybe.
I think he's the
Eddie
most likely to walk in the door at United.
I think you guys would opt for an up and coming young manager more than you would maybe go with an Allegri, maybe
possibly
Eddie Howe or someone like that.
It's more because it's Bournemouth as well. I don't see any of the so-called top 6 ever taking the gamble on Eddie Howe. I tell you who else. I tell you who I would like.
Hassan Hüttel.
No, I would. I reckon he'd walk straight out on him as well. Is Rodgers.
Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, I know he's had stick on that. He's another one. I like his football.
Okay.
He's a dickhead, but I'm not too bothered about that. So probably from a realistic target, if he was to poach someone, yeah, I'd say Rodgers.
Yeah.
Then that's a whole other controversial, isn't it? Would he actually leave Leicester for Tottenham?
Well, he'd just keep moving further south, wouldn't he? Celtic to Leicester, Leicester to
London. I think the reason we said this at the time when he took over at Leicester is he was never going to get one of the so-called big 6. That was as big as he could possibly get, and that's why he absolutely jumped at the opportunity. I think if the Spurs job or the Arsenal job came up, I think he'd walk and he would take it. In the same way, as harsh as it is on Leicester, in the same way that Harry Maguire walked out the club.
Greg.
Which he's probably regretting.
At GPay. We need to speed this up now.
All right, cool.
We'll be here all night. Who are your most hated footballers of all time? James, this is he who must not be named. And if anyone knows, they'll know. Was he Macclesfield manager? Or
I heard he's in talks for the Southend job, so they can go fuck themselves as well.
So there we know who James is. Most hated footballer. I've never been. I'm just not. Even clubs.
I'm not either particularly. It's not even just such an Arsenal thing because there's players who, like people like Omri, Ian Wright. I mean, I hated them because I played for them, but I respected what they did and the way they played and stuff. Yeah. And so it's not even necessarily them. No, I mean nothing comes close to that prick. So yeah, next question. And if you don't know, you should know.
James, this is coming from John McGrath. There's a little dig in here, I'm afraid, James.
I can take it.
When Spurs get relegated, will you do the EFL Championship Fantasy Football League instead? Nah.
Is there one?
I don't know. There probably is somewhere.
Tell me. If
there isn't, maybe we should make it.
Yeah?
Yeah, somehow, by hook or crook. And you know the good thing about it? We wouldn't have a BPS system because I couldn't be fucked to make that.
Yeah.
No BPS.
No.
Does Opta get you stats for the Championship and League 1 and League 2 as well, or is it only Premier League stats?
I would have thought they probably have got all that, yeah.
Oh, fair play. Well, then maybe we can make it.
Hey, let's not go hacking, Suj.
3 years ago, we decided to start a podcast. Now we're into a new challenge. Let's launch our own fantasy game.
Yeah, what are we going to call it?
Planet FPL.
Championship.
Yeah, Planet F Championship.
Planet FPL
Championship. No, because FPL is Premier League, isn't it? So it can't be Fantasy Premier League.
It would be Planet EFL, wouldn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And in line with that, so the answer is no, you wouldn't do Fantasy Championship.
If we're starting the game, I'm playing it.
Yeah.
I'd tell you what I probably would do if we went down, which we obviously won't. Don't take this as a dig. I would go to a lot of the games, like a lot more games away from home.
Nice and cheap as chips then. And Ronan Megan asks a question. Have you ever played any other fantasy sport games? Fantasy cricket, fantasy NFL, fantasy rotisserie baseball, or have you played the FPL draft format of the game?
No.
None of the above.
Sorry.
None of the above.
No.
If people start sending us money and we can make this a full-time job, then maybe we've got time to play all of these other fantasy games.
Yeah, I think I'm more about branching into different football fantasy games like we've done with Sky this year.
Yeah. Before anyone starts giving us stick, I'm only joking about sending us money, just so they know.
Why? Are you joking?
I don't know.
I think the people will send us money if we ask
Imagine,
hard enough.
I mean, I just had visions in my mind of a website that we could create about all these other fantasy games and call it Planet Fantasy. And I'm just thinking that's a completely different type of website, isn't it?
Definitely sounds like a porno site, mate.
Yeah. Especially Planet Fantasy for all your fantasy games. Coming soon. You could definitely send us money for that one. Fucking hell, that will make a few quid. Right, let's find another question. Here you go. FPL Cobbler. If you could sign a sportsman or woman from any other sport for West Ham or Spurs and turn them into footballers, who would it be from any other sport? Like they'd want to.
Who's the girl who plays right back for the England's women's team? I've forgotten her fucking name.
No idea.
Oh, that's so annoying. She's really good.
I have her name computer here.
Slipped. Just Google England women's right back.
Yeah,
my dad said to me in the summer when we was watching, I think it was England's women against Cameroon. He said, I'll tell you what, she's so good, I'd sign her for Spurs.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously digging it out. Have you seen the problem Spurs have got at right back, mate?
Lucy Bronze?
That's it, Lucy Bronze.
There you go.
She's terrific. Yeah, Lucy Bronze, she'd get straight in the Spurs team, mate.
Yeah. I mean, this is. Are we saying that they have to be live now, or can it be from any era?
So any sport.
Any sport that you
can we take like The Rock or something, or is that not a sport?
Exactly, yeah, that's a sport. Because I'm talking about the Fridge. Do you remember the Fridge from American football? Yeah. I put him in goal. No one will fucking score a goal because he'll fill the whole fucking thing.
I don't think that's how it works, Suj. I think you might have a problem moving and getting down low. You haven't thought this through, mate. All
right, I would take that guy Israel. What's his name? Who won the UFC? the other day and just play him as fucking defensive holding midfielder.
Imagine Conor McGregor walking you out.
Yeah, Conor McGregor.
Doing his strut.
I'd play him as a defensive midfielder. You wouldn't fucking be worried about Mo Salah scoring any goals. He'd have 2 broken legs and a fucking broken jaw before half time, mate. You'd take the red card for that.
It's got a fucking lid on it.
Twist
I
it.
hope not.
Oh.
Cheers, mate. I'll ask a
There
question
you
just
go.
for jokes.
Go on then. That one's just answered.
FPL KJ, value D comments and top pick. Why am I speaking like I can't read? Value D comments and top pick for wildcarders. Is that like
valued comments on top
is that
picks
a response to a question?
No, it's a standard question.
I'm shit at the questions. I can't believe I used to do them.
You just happened to pick one that was a bit difficult to read. We'll come back to it. Yeah.
Please read it out. They're going to think bad.
FPL Astro, how did you two meet? I always wonder how you got to know each other and the pod came about. There's this great app called Tinder, and we met on there, mate.
Yeah.
Not really.
I rejected Suj and then I hooked him up on Grindr instead.
Yeah, that's where I was like, I'm sure I've seen his face before on Tinder when I was on.
Swiped the wrong fucking way.
It didn't happen that way. However, watch this space. 2022 coming soon is an FPL dating app. We've talked about this on previous shows. We're building it. You automatically log in using your FPL team login ID, and then you can date each other.
I don't think that's going to take off.
2022 FPL date.
He's actually written that down.
Yeah, 2022. I need to let FPL Astro know that. That's it.
Well, he'll probably listen, so he'll know.
Yeah, and in answer to your question, because I don't want to not answer it, we met at work. Happy days.
He's the boss.
Yeah, in some ways, not all. Jarvo at ajarvis86. Some of you get your Twitter handles read out. Follow him, ajarvis86. I want 10 people to go and follow him. Do you play? Give the fans some love here. Do you guys play football socially in real life? Keep up the good work. Your pods are ace.
Yeah, Thursday nights for me. Suj in his back garden. No. We've covered that.
Yeah.
Next.
I don't play it at all.
And that's the guy who's got 10 followers. Well done.
Okay. Kvig FPL. Should I play Soyuncu or Cantwell in game week 9? So, Cantwell's away at Bournemouth.
Yeah, and Soyuncu at home to Burnley.
Soyuncu.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Soyuncu.
Yeah.
Question answered.
But one of your players will get injured between now and then, and you'll end up playing them both. Next.
We got another Vardy question coming in. Is Rebecca Vardy telling the truth?
Has Rebecca Vardy ever told the truth?
Just for my clarity, Colleen Rooney blocked everyone and only Rebecca Vardy could see her shit.
Allegedly.
And sold it to the Sun.
Allegedly.
And then Rebecca Vardy said she was hacked?
Allegedly.
Okay, fine. So is she telling the truth that she was hacked?
Allegedly.
Oh, fucking hell. James is keeping us legal from getting sued. Is she telling the truth? Allegedly not. Did I do that right?
No, I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Nah, she's fucking hacked her. Well, she didn't hack her, but she sold it. Yeah, of course she did, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've already answered this question.
In our opinion,
FPL Leicester.
Allegedly, we think she might have sold that shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
FPL Leicester also says, who would win in a boxing match between Vardy and Rooney? It's
Rooney.
Rooney all day long. You've seen Rooney fucking... Well, to be fair, Rooney got himself knocked out in his kitchen, didn't he, a couple of years ago or whatever?
Was it your Sunderland fullback, Barnsley? Yeah, was it Burnley now?
Yeah, so maybe not. Maybe Rooney's a bit of a pussy.
Didn't Rooney ask him to punch him or something?
Probably. They're probably horsing around boxing. But you can't imagine Jamie Vardy on a Saturday night just getting the gloves out at home and fucking having a little dust up.
Mate, he's on the Red Bulls and stuff, and he would just be bouncing around one punch over. I feel
like we're on the Red Bulls today to get through all of these questions.
Next.
We've been talking fast, yo. Right, okay. Joachim, the transfer window is open for Tottenham and West Ham. You get to choose to transfer out one unwanted forward, midfielder and defender from your teams and gift them to another team for a replacement of your choice from that team.
Wow.
What would your transfers be?
God, I wish you'd read this one and had time to think about it.
Okay, first one straight up easy. I'll gift a midfielder. Jack Wilshere can go to Man City and we'll have Kevin De Bruyne.
It's very difficult to argue with that. I would swap. See, I'll do this more realistically. I would swap Ndombele for Thiago Alcantara at Bayern Munich.
Oh, making it complicated. Forwards. We don't have a lot of choice there at West Ham. We've only got two, which is Aller and Ajeti. So I'll lose Ajeti and I'll take Aaron Connolly from Brighton, sorry. I'll have a bit of that.
That's your forward.
Well, I'm trying to be realistic here.
Okay, yeah.
Realistic. I'm like, that's like a 4.5.
I'm not sure Thiago coming to Spurs was that realistic.
Yeah. Let's make it realistic by saying they've got to be same or lesser FPL value.
Oh, so it's got to be someone in the same league then.
Yeah.
All right.
It doesn't have to be. Defenders, who would I get rid of? I'd retire gracefully Zabaleta. Albeit I still think he can do a job. But
you won't be sending him to us. You won't want none of our right backs.
Nah, true. I'd get rid of Zabaleta. I'd take Wan-Bissaka, mate. I think he's a great right back. I'd take Trent, but let's be honest, we're not going to get him. So, yeah, I think Trent at right back can take over from Zab. Kevin De Bruyne can take over from Jack Wilshere, and anyone can take over from Ajeti.
All right.
You got any others you want to get rid of? Christian Eriksen.
He's not forward, is he? I might have been a bit harsh on Christian, but that's how I felt at that moment. Forwards. Right. Can I sell someone other than Kane? Or do I have to sell Kane?
No, you've got Llorente and you got.
No, Llorente's gone.
Has he gone? Has he?
Yeah, I'll have to sell some, won't I?
Yeah. Is he a forward? Not an FPL.
Yeah, plays like a forward. Yeah, so everyone keeps telling me he's further ahead up the pitch than Kane, which a lot of the time he is, in fairness. Who would I get in there? Someone realistic. Oh, Christ. No, fuck it. I'm keeping Son, Bullocks. I don't want no one else. I just want him to fucking improve.
Yeah.
I'd need more time to think about it. Good question, though. Thank you.
Okay. Matt at Cheers Lowy? I can't see very clearly here. Planet FPL has taken on so well that you guys have become household names.
Have we?
No, I think this is hypothetical as part of the.
I mean, I get stopped walking down the street all the time. What about you?
I was like, the only place I'm not a household name is in my household because my wife doesn't get to see me anymore because we're always recording.
It has happened once or twice now, and it is very, very weird when it happens.
You get offered a permanent job in football. James is offered a 7-figure salary working for Arsenal. Suj is offered a 7-figure salary working for the new manager of Millwall, who is Troy Deeney. Are you going to take it? Yes. It's not even a fucking question. 7-figure salary is £1 million, mate.
Yeah, I would take it, and I would start corrupting that shit.
Would you?
Yeah. You get the payoff anyway, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't. I would.
You get sacked in football. You get sacked in football. You don't lose your job. You get compensated.
No, I think that's only managers and people like that. I mean, it doesn't say what job you get offered. I'd take it, mate. 7-figure salary. Do it for a year, come back, and then we'd be balling, mate. We'd have gold-plated microphones for Planet FPL. It would be, fuck that, we'd have a recording studio on the beach in fucking
If I went and took this for, I'd probably be on AFTV, wouldn't I?
AFTV. Can you imagine that? Oh, dear.
Me opposite DT.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Shut up, you mug.
Chris Smith, FPL. Chris, thank you so much for a sensible question and bringing this back to sensibility. What's your Christmas game strategy, and have you begun to think about it yet? Given that Liverpool are taking part in the Club World Cup, which is game week 18, do you guys spend a couple of game weeks transferring in players in preparation to strengthen the bench, for example? I think it's going to be tricky. Trent, for example, is going to have so much value in him that I'm not going to be able to get rid of him. I've only got 2 Liverpool players at the moment. So Robbo, if he doesn't go up in value, I could transfer out and get back again if I wanted to. It's going to be tricky, that one. And in answer mainly to your question, until we've got the televised schedule, I'm not making any kind of planning decisions because the TV fixtures really does make a big difference.
Couple of points. Forgive me. Someone really kindly, I can't remember it was, pointed out to me from one of the pods last week that Liverpool and the West Ham rearranged games. Game week 18,
18.
Can't be scheduled for the League Cup quarterfinals because that's actually the midweek when Liverpool go to the Club World Cup.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so if Liverpool do beat Arsenal, they can't play their League Cup quarterfinal then either, which is interesting because the League Cup semi-final first leg is straight at the start of January. So if Liverpool beat Arsenal, it gets very complex in terms of the scheduling of the the semi-finals, if Liverpool continue to progress, I would bet money that Arsenal beat them in that, by the way, because it'll be too much hassle for Liverpool, I think.
Yeah.
My strategy at the moment, and I'm not locked into this, and it depends what happens for me in the next few weeks, because I'm probably just getting to the point I'm beginning to get a little unhappy with my team. But it's not the Liverpool boys, by the way. It's more other areas of the team. Like I know I'm going to sell Kane after Watford and stuff like that I know I need to change. At the moment, I think I will wildcard on the week that Liverpool do not play, which will allow me to keep what I want value-wise, allow me to beef up a team that's strong enough to cover for the lack of Liverpool, and I'll obviously keep on the bench from them what I want. I wouldn't wildcard into no Liverpool players, but it would allow me to, at the right time, juggle the weak spots I've got around my team to cope with that, and obviously at the same time plans me in good players for the form Christmas fixtures, which, like real football, like if you have a good Christmas, you make major gains, and I had a brilliant Christmas last year after wildcarding about that time. So it's probably my strategy at the moment.
You have just answered Ronan's other question as well,
okay,
which was around at the start of the season you'd rather burn 12 points than use up your wild card in the first kind of handful of game weeks.
There's no rights or wrongs on this, by the way.
No, it's like
not
as we approach November and December, he was asking what's the minimum number of transfers that you would need to consider before using your wild card. Well, you just answered that.
5.
Yeah, 5 in total.
At least.
Yeah. FPL Jag says, should we start seriously looking at the Wolves' defence? They could be much more reliable than the likes of Leicester, Chelsea, West Ham, and so on and so on. Bolly is a real option at 5, and he's a bonus magnet and a set-piece threat, although they've still got this Europa League thing.
Yeah, we spoke about this on the pod we've released yesterday, or today as we're recording now, with Dara, where I mentioned Willy Bolly briefly about his BPS numbers, and essentially if Wolves keep a clean sheet, he'll hit bonus.
Yeah.
He's the one to go to. Doherty at 6 just feels a bit too expensive, and you're not sure if sometimes he's going to play Traore at right wing back. Vinagre, who played at City, will get favouritism ahead of Johnny at times. We know Bradley spoke to us in the summer on 30 and 30 and said, like, keep an eye on Vinagre this year, and thinks probably towards the back end of the year that he may well get in as the regular first choice. So Bolly is the one to go for. I've seen a few people on their wild cards at the moment moving to Patricio.
Doherty's been getting the minutes in the last 4 or 5 games, though.
Didn't start City.
No, but he's still he's had a goal and assist in his last 4. So yeah, I think Doherty might be an interesting one. That Traore being pushed
wing back
forward.
area is the one that's most likely to get rotated for Wolves with the Europa. 3 days before City, they picked a very strong team in Turkey and beat Besiktas. So they're taking it pretty seriously, which I think will delight the majority of the fans up there. Like, get in it and have a proper go in it. So the wing-backs are too big of a risk from Wolves. It's fine for our differential team, but then because of the setup of that, and we can't really have big hitting premiums, we've got substitute covers all the time.
Yeah, true.
So that works for that kind of unique scenario for our differential team. If I was buying one, it would definitely be Bolly.
Can you, like we're talking about yesterday, I went on the FPL FYI thing. I picked Doherty in James Alcott's wildcard squad because he said to take back everything you said about Doherty being rotated. He's going to play every minute. The doctor.
Well, James Alcott should stop inviting you and start inviting me, shouldn't he?
Well, yeah, but you would pick Traore then. William Bollet.
I wouldn't pick Traore. He's getting mentions as well. Is not a consideration for myself. Not. I haven't got a good-looking enough face to go on FPL FYI.
Yet. But when we get the 7-figure salary from
Arsenal,
my
face is suddenly going to improve, is it?
Yeah, fucking 7-figure salary. I'll be getting plastic surgery, won't you? I'll be getting surgery everywhere,
I don't think there's any fixing me, mate.
I'll be getting abs. I'll be getting everything, mate. Andrew Jason, what to do with Son? Would you keep him for the Watford game, bearing in mind his international involvement? We've talked about this. The answer is yes. Unless you get any news on Friday next week that really indicates otherwise, which you should keep an eye on the press conferences and all the rest of that kind of stuff. I own him at the moment, unless there's real indication that he's not going to play. This is a must-win game for Spurs.
A must-win?
Yeah, man.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah. It's
like literally, there was no choice just from a repercussions point of view more than the league table, yes, it's must win.
I think we're going to invent a new phrase, must obliterate game for Spurs.
It's must win.
Yeah, for sure. You just mentioned that you were going to sell Kane after game week 9 in Watford.
Yeah.
Definitely. All done.
Not definitely.
I'll tell you why. Gary is my captain, who is our Manchester United correspondent. He says, how do you feel about Kane? Obvious captain choice next week, but unsure about him and Spurs. Is he being overhyped? Is he in don't buy, don't sell territory?
I had a strategy before we played Southampton, and it's the Brighton game more than the Southampton games made me want to kick that up in the air, right? I will be captaining Kane against Watford in game week 9, unless he gets injured between now and then. Not a fault. I'd have alternatives, Abraham, Sterling, but I'll definitely be going Harry, and then I will probably flog him off straight afterwards. And probably most of my thoughts next week will be, what am I doing after the game to move it on, I think. So, yeah, that's I've had so much in the air about big at the back Liverpool and all that. It's more a thought of I need to restructure what I'm doing around Kane.
Ainsley FPL. Imagine. I wonder if that is Ainsley Harriott.
Yeah, of course it's Ainsley Harriott. Yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely.
It's an ex-Liverpool defender who's top of FPL right now. You get Patrick Van Aanholt playing FPL.
If you
Broad was a
want
game week winner last season.
If you want Nick Tanner's top FPL tips,
yes,
do have a listen back to Clash of the Correspondents from yesterday.
Just call them FPL tips because they're not top.
Might be some of the funniest 5 minutes we produced, I think. Anyway, what's the question?
It left me speechless. That's what I'll say. There were honestly, I don't know how to respond to this moments in that, which definitely you should listen to with the Tinker Mendara yesterday. How long is too long to hold a blanking player? I don't think there's an answer to this. 3, 4, 5 game weeks. Obviously, the value is the factor, but I'm thinking about a certain Finnish striker. Is he finished? Boom, boom. Shit joke.
Just
central.
a word of caution on those selling, and I think it's perfectly understandable that people are. Any return for him is going to hurt your rank. Do not forget that.
Yeah, it's still 30+% owned.
They play Bournemouth next, Manchester United afterwards, Brighton afterwards, Watford afterwards.
Yeah, 4 leaky defences, really. Not the greatest.
I don't know. I might even just hold through all of that until after Watford, I think. And by which point, that's a month away. An opinion might have changed. He might be 7.3. Who knows?
Yeah, true.
And the other thing with the selling him is, if he does suddenly have a Newcastle game or the Chelsea or the City game, like, it's going to fucking fly back up again. It will just take one game to reverse the direction that his value's in. So I completely understand why people are selling. The fact that since the City game, they've scored just a 1 goal against Villa, isn't it?
Yeah.
In 3 fixtures, Burnley, Palace, Villa, you would hope for some returns from those 3. So, yeah, completely understandable, especially when you got Abraham staring you in the face, Jimenez. I like that move. If people are making that move, Pukki to Jimenez, I like that. That's brave as well, because you're fighting off the no fear from because he's still template at the moment, Pukki.
Yeah.
To go for the differential player Jimenez, who another return and he will start shooting up in value. And timing is right for Jimenez.
Do you think Callum Hudson-Odoi is
We didn't actually answer the question.
How long do you hold a player? I don't think there's an answer, though.
I think it's
Depends,
circumstance.
right?
Circumstance.
Yeah, but always you're making transfers with a strategy in mind. Like, don't jump away from the strategy in a knee-jerk way if you can avoid it. Do you think Callum Hudson-Odoi is a nailed starter now, like Mount, or will he get rotated? There's no such thing as a nailed starter, surely.
Yeah, there is.
There are, to be fair. Kane will never get dropped.
I think more like Edison at Man City, that kind
but
of
Callum
thing.
Hudson-Odoi is definitely not in the nailed, not even
Chelsea in the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
They are going to, at some point, all of them, see that rotation. And the fixture run at the moment is good enough that don't be surprised if it happens kind of now, right? So, but the 3 of them are all in a position where I think it's safe to say they are first choice. That's important.
Yep. Elite FPL podcast. That's a podcast, getting a question in on our podcast. That's the kind of cyclical thing that implodes the world.
Steve-O, spoiler, we'll do something together soon. question.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's you and him.
No, you're invited too.
Oh, okay, fine. I thought you're cheating on me.
Yeah, no, we'll do something.
You've been getting back on
I
Tinder.
don't know why he wants you to come on as well, but yeah, he's put the invite out.
Your question is interesting. Where do you guys see yourselves this time next year or in 2 years with this podcast? It's 2 years in now, two and a bit.
Live on the Elite FPL podcast stream.
2 years in now, to be fair. Now we're doing 5 different shows a week. They all have their own kind of spin. Sky FF.
Kind of 6.
Tottenham. The Final Plan. The Main Podcast.
Sky.
Clash of the Correspondents. I said
People's Poll.
Yeah, 6. There is a variety of shows. I think we need to work at giving the shows a little bit more identity for each one, and figuring out how they all have their own place. Every year we've done more than we've done the previous year, so I can't see that changing in any way, shape, or form. To be honest with you, but yeah, it just comes down to raising the standards now. I think we want to really.
Me and Suj do. I've said this to a few people before. I think I said it to a few people at the live shows. Is the problem with me and Suj is we have an idea and we just do it. So when I said to Suj, the first one really was, I want to get a correspondent for each club. And he went, oh, go on then, go and find them. I'll go and find them.
A couple of months later,
okay,
we go.
It's a big thing. It's really cool. And, it really helps us and it's helped the guys grow and they're all amazing. Then we looked at 30 and 30. I think that was probably your idea. You were like, I want to do 30 podcasts in 30 days.
Yeah.
And I think I was looking at doing it in sort of July or something. Did we do it in June? It was in June, wasn't it? To fucking numb the pain of no football. And it was suddenly, it had gone from this is a good idea to within like an hours, I was messaging the guys and going, what dates can you do?
Yeah.
And then we came up with this idea, why don't we record every day?
Yeah.
And you reckon we can do more next year?
I reckon so.
Jesus Christ.
Well, maybe not more in quantity, but in quality. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, improve the quality. I don't think Manchild's in the studio, but we've got a question for all of us. It's coming in from Jeff, our friend Jeff Holt.
Hello, Jeff.
James, Suj, and Manchild are going on a road trip around the UK. Between the three of you, give me 10 tracks that would form the core of your road tape.
Fat Man Scoop.
Yeah, for sure. Just to remind him why he's called Manchild. Do you know, I saw a really funny video the other day on YouTube about Donald Trump, and they now call him President Manchild because he throws his toys out the pram. Yeah, so that was quite funny. But I'd do Bob Marley. No, not Bob Marley. It's a road trip, isn't it? So you want something a bit more lively and upbeat. Something by Fatboy Slim, maybe.
Okay, yeah. But the thing is, I'm not sure Manchild has the same sort of taste as us, will he? What does he listen to?
He listens to hip hop.
You like a bit of hip hop.
Common, yeah, maybe Jay-Z.
I'd like a bit of hip hop, but I just can't understand it.
Yeah, they talk fast.
Why I talk so fast?
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of that. A bit of U2. I'm a big U2 fan. I like their stuff. Not that they're producing as much these days.
I reckon we'd be more like let's throw a bit of like Celine Dion on there. Driving into the sunset, my heart will go on.
Honestly, Jeff, it just after about 20 minutes, switch over to 1089 Talk Sport for your dial. Adrian Durham, just so we can swear at his stupidity half the time.
I'd love to get Manchild and Adrian Durham in the same room.
You reckon?
Yeah, you know how Adrian Durham pisses off everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine him trying that on Manchild.
He's just controversial for the sake of being
controversial. He is, mate.
FC Crooner also asked about Pookie, time to sell. I don't think so.
I think it's individual circumstance. If that's the biggest problem, you've got to sell.
If it's a sell, who's the best replacement under 7 million?
Ooh, under 7?
It's hard now because they've
difficult.
all crept over. I mean, you're still looking at your Burnley boys. Wood or Barnes really are the only ones in that 6-point something category anymore.
Yeah, I'd go that as a shout. Josh King maybe springing to mind.
You know what? Manchild's not here anymore, is he? No. You can jump in on this because the question was roping him in, and it said James, Suj, and Manchild are going on a road trip around the UK. Between the three of you, we're allowed to pick 10 tracks that we would listen to on our road tape. Pick a song. What are you going to have, Jake?
What would you guys pick?
We had U2, Bob Marley, Jay-Z.
Fat Man Scoop. Celine Dion.
And Celine Dion.
Got any drum and bass in there. So.
Okay, so drum and bass. General Levy. Incredible.
Pendulum. Yeah, I like a bit of Pendulum.
It says a lot about me that I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Pendulum's good.
Pendulum.
Yeah, they're really good, Pendulum.
They're a group.
Yeah, it's drum bass, man.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, great. I need to write down Pendulum. It's not like a position or something, mate.
I don't know. I'm going to remind myself to Google it later.
Players less than 7. God, that's...
Strikers less than 7. You're down
that's
to your
the problem.
boys now.
Do you know who I will probably go if I sell someone at a lower value than Pookie?
Yeah.
It's Connolly.
You think so?
Yeah. Change system, get 5-man midfield.
Put it in James Alcott's wildcard team, just saying. Aaron Connolly. He's getting, when he's coming on as sub, he's getting 20 and 25 minutes. He's not getting like 5 and 10 minute spurts, which is decent. It gives him a chance
after
to
the
do
game
some
week 8
damage.
game, he might well keep his place in the team now as well, right? So,
yeah, you'd like to think so. And it was you who compared him to the great Wayne Rooney.
No, that wasn't me.
You said he was Rooney-esque the way he cut inside and put it in the bottom corner in the main podcast.
I don't know what podcast you've been on this week, slutting yourself around. It wasn't me.
Okay, if anyone can find the minute and the seconds of James saying that, I'd be really grateful because I can't be asked to listen.
I think you just dream about me at night.
Honestly. But yeah, that's true too. KJ, what would you class as a good rank this season? And with so many more teams entering each year, is it 100k minimum? I said it earlier. For me, 100k, but I do take the point that it's hard this year.
It's individual circumstance.
Yeah, and it's
No. It's truthfully, right? Because me and Suj have got different targets. Suj would like to finish in the top 100k. I'd like to finish in the top 20k. If I finish 50k, I won't be disappointed. If I finish 200k, I won't be disappointed. It's just a fucking game. But people have different targets.
Yeah.
You'll see someone who will tweet at the end of the season, "Can't believe it, my first FPL season, I finished in the top 1,000,000. He'll get a shitload of likes.
Yeah, and why not? It's
exactly.
A game at the end of the day. It's all about fun. Rajdeep Chakrabarti, what's up with Sterling? Just a dip in form or some XG and XA going on with him? Transferring him out for Mount should open up funds for Aubameyang, Tammy and a Vardy as a front three. It's not a bad front three, but if you really look at it, he's scored in 4 of the 7 league games that he's played. He's only blanked in 3. He returned in both the England games. So make that 6 out of 9 games. It just happens to be that the one he got dropped for and the ones he's missed are the ones you probably captained him in. And that's what just exacerbates the red mist with Sterling. But he's just as easy to keep. I don't see why you would want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I've got my eye on the situation at the moment because obviously once you remove that 20-point haul from the first game week, his returns aren't fantastic in compared to the other premium assets. But he's due one, I would say that. They've got, after Palace away, a fixture he scored twice in last season. They have Villa at home and Southampton at home. And it's not until the end of that I'll make a secondary decision on if I want to move off Raheem Sterling. If those 3 games have gone by and he's not got the returns that I would expect from a player that I'm going to captain in game weeks 10 and 11, then yeah, I'll be moving away. But no, I'm holding through, patience on it. It'll almost certainly be my captain weeks 10 and 11.
We've got a question in from No Mess, who's really confused about what the fuck is happening to Kevin De Bruyne's price.
I don't think any of us can explain that.
Yeah, I have no answer to this. Can he fall to 9.9?
Yes.
Well, the answer to that question is yes.
You know when it will fall?
Will he?
You know when it will fall? It will fall next Friday when Pep's just confirmed that he's fit.
Do you reckon? Something stupid like that will happen. But yeah, I mean, we'd all like a bit of transparency on this, wouldn't we? Just a little bit of what.
I think we'd like to even know if, what it is that. I think we know there's massive effects of the wild cards, etc.
Yeah.
But I mean, the amount of transfers out, was it like 700,000 net or something?
Has been now since that price, yeah.
So come on, say something.
It
just doesn't make sense.
FPL Lister and Rob Pick ask the same question. Rob, you get an extra special shout out because you said in yours, love the pod, guys. Thank you. So that's rpick88 at rpick88. Go and follow him. Just show the love. We've talked a lot about tripling up on Liverpool. Both of them are asking about doubling up on other teams, particularly Leicester. Suyuncu and Pereira.
And Vardy and Maddison.
Or we're talking about defence here specifically. Double up?
Yeah, I think you can do it.
On Suyuncu and Pereira?
It's the most viable one after Liverpool for a double up, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have either at the moment. And I think probably in the near future, I probably will get one. The difference between Suyuncu and Pereira is what now? 1.6? I mean, Pereira went up to 6.2
has he already,
Wednesday night. That's too much for a player who can get me similar-ish returns. Difference. So I'll be, if I move into that area on Leicester, I'll move for Suyuncu, I'm almost certain.
We've got Glenn here at GlennS378 who wants to know who you think we think the top point scorer in each position will be this season. Goalkeeper, Edison.
Yeah.
I think Edison.
Just because he's got the head start on Allison.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's already up to 30 points plus on...
Defender we can skip. It's not even a debate.
Trent, without a shadow of a doubt. Midfield, KDB. Glenn's gone with Mane.
Do you know what? That's the name on my tongue.
It could well be Mane, but I'm thinking... I'm going to stick with KDB.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go KDB.
Up front.
Of the strikers, well, it's all dependent on Aguero's fitness.
I think Aubameyang.
Okay.
I think Aubameyang is the guy that's going to finish.
I don't want you writing this down.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I've got a pen in my hand. I may as well. Do you want to read a question?
No, I'm not very good at reading questions.
Oh, yeah. I'm having to do all the work here.
You nearly finished, didn't you?
We're not doing badly. We might get this in under 90 minutes.
Nice.
FPL Rhinos. Big at the back seems to have died a death in the community, but the lack of clean sheets just makes me want to back the attacking wingbacks even more. So the question is is value more important than excitement? E.g., Pereira over Suyuncu or Alonso over Tomori?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And they're good one. That's the sort of one where it's good to ask a question, isn't it? You know, Pereira and Tomori or Alonso and Suyuncu. In which case, I think you.
But I don't think it's it's positioned like that. I think it's like
I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, when we get questions like that, and there's difference in the value, like for me, just to describe Suyuncu over Pereira, I'm going, I'll go Suyuncu over the value. I understand what you're saying. It's the more boring pick. So I owned Ricardo Pereira, and it didn't do me fucking great. Thanks, Neil Murray.
Last year.
We all suffered there, right?
Yeah.
I saw someone started a thread on Pereira the other day.
Really?
He was straight on it, Neil. Like, here we go again.
Do you know what I would do? I hope Neil's not listening. I'd find that tweet from last year and probably just copy paste it and just pretend it was my tweet, to be honest with you. Most of the stats are probably similar. Change a couple of decimal points.
There are noticeably, it's funny. I am seeing some copy and paste merchants on Twitter at the moment. Yeah, quite a few.
No one's copy and pasting my shit. That's how bad it is.
Generally targeting smaller accounts, by the way. Stand up for yourself if you see your work getting stolen, and I don't mind if you want to give me a nudge if you see that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Plagiarism and all that. Plagiarism's for school.
Indeed.
We haven't answered the question. Yeah, you want to go with the more desirable attacking asset, but you can't always go through all of them.
Clean sheet wipeout at Clean Sheet Wipeout FPL. Is a triple up on both Chelsea, Tomori, Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Abraham, and Leicester. Suyuncu, Maddison, Vardy for their upcoming fixtures, madness or genius. I'm torn on whether to wildcard or not. I don't think it's that bad an idea.
No, it's absolutely fine. And actually, if you've got the right Liverpool Man City assets to go with it on the balance of value, you've got your 11 players from 4 teams. I don't know how you feel about that, but they're probably the best 4 teams in the league at the moment.
Yeah, without a doubt, I think so. Let's have a look here. James, we're running out of questions here. Having said that, obviously we pulled the questions off before the show. You did say to people that they had about 5 hours, but there you go. FPL Corf at Corf FPLs. Considering Josh King for Pookie, only 10 points behind Callum Wilson. He's on penalties. He's only 6.3, and Bournemouth have decent fixtures. Does he look good value in the Bournemouth attack, or is it worth taking? And is it worth taking out Pookie? Views on Josh King? We've said Pookie, you kind of got to hold.
No, you haven't got to hold. You haven't got to hold. It's individual circumstance. It's just not for me at the moment to bother selling him. I'm not happy with what he's doing, am I? I'm not stupid. But it's not the most pressing issue I've got, and I know it can turn because they have got some good footballers behind in Buendia. See, Cantwell pulled out the England under-21 squad, but that might be precautionary.
Yeah.
James Maddison's pulled out the England squad with illness, which is a right sickener, excuse the pun, because I would have loved to have seen him play. So it's up to James Maddison. I don't get that. You're sick. How badly sick are you? We've got a game Friday. Fine, missed that. Got another game Monday. I don't know. I just sweat through it at the moment.
Yeah,
Do you want to play for England or not? I mean, if we find out next week he's been on the toilet for 14 days, I'm sorry, James, but wipe your ass better. He's going to lose the spot to Mount. It's up for grabs.
Yeah.
With like Ali and Lingard coming out of the team. Mount's gonna get it. He's going to lock it down.
I agree with you on that. FPL Hitman is on a wild card. These are A or B, so you just answer them. Pereira or Soyuncu?
Soyuncu.
Vardy or Wilson?
Vardy.
Aubameyang or Aguero?
Aguero.
So on 2 out of the 3, you went with a more expensive option.
Well,
so
you want to give me 2 options with more expensive players. I'm probably going to pick the more expensive one.
Liverpool correspondent Dan, FPL_Loco Lord. Even though I've only just got Son on my wild card, Tottenham's so bad that I just need to get rid of him.
Yeah, we'll shortly be accepting applications for a new Liverpool correspondent. If you'd like to put your applications into Dan at FPL Loco Lord, he'll be happy to tell you what tips are required. Thanks, Dan. Love you, mate. Son was a hold for the 3 games. I said with Spurs, it was going before Southampton or not at all, was my feeling. You were unlucky in the Southampton game. We were lucky in the Brighton game. We only lost 3-0 after Watford sell.
Okay.
That's the recurring theme on Spurs.
We've got Leo Anim as well, who asks a question. Will it be crazy to get these guys in? Now listen to this. Salah, Sterling, Mane and Kevin De Bruyne, and then have no Chelsea coverage in Abraham and Mount, and you're probably going to have fuck all everywhere else.
It's just picked Nick Tanner's team, isn't it?
Is it? Is that what Nick
No, I
Tanner's
don't
team
think
is?
so, no.
That's really heavy to go.
He had a fucking heavy midfield, I know that.
Yeah, ridiculously heavy.
Yeah, but it's probably guarantee of points on those 3 or 4 that you mentioned there, isn't it? You've mentioned it as a theme once or twice, kind of off pod, as in
spread your butter thin over
as
your
in
toast. Or
just
go
get
all in.
sort of like the 5 players you really, really want and fuck the rest.
Yeah.
The problem is when they have weeks like these last couple of weeks. Mind you, it's the proper budget options that were saving people at the weekend, weren't it? Like Martin Kelly and stuff.
Yeah. We've got a few other questions that have come in between.
Okay.
We've got a couple of minutes. Let's answer them. Mainly because one's coming in from Stephen Toomey at 6th goal. And when that man asks a question, we will answer. Because when that man writes an article, it's every other day. He's the most prolific writer that we have. So shout out to you, Stephen. I can feel the pain in him typing already. Will Watford win a game this season? A team struggling to score, and they set up in a 5-3-2. How long before QS Foot becomes reality? QSF out, sorry. QSF out. If you'd have capitalised the O, I'd understand what the fuck you're on about.
Why would he capitalise the O?
Because it's QSF out. Anyway, Kiko Sanchez Flores. It looks like QS Foot.
In Bellend.
You need to head over to Twitter.
Will Watford win a game this season?
Foot.
See, this is correspondent. Don't come slappy. He knows what to do before his team's about to play. Stephen, of course you're going to win a game this season. You got us in game week 9 for fuck's sake, mate. You'll be fine, mate. Just have a little faith. I think Stephen's already out of patience with Flores. I think he was out of patience with Flores within a minute of seeing the announcement, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you've got that legacy hangover with what happened previously as well, haven't you? FPO Woodsy, Chris_Woods on Twitter. Give him a follow. always at the live events and so on and so on and so on. Good lad in the community. Is it worth holding on to McGinn despite the tricky fixtures?
It's an interesting one. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, McGinn's one of your cheaper players. Yeah, he's not one of your premium assets. So I just think it's you don't chop and change those. You just ride it through.
You say that, but like if you've got the little rise out of him, and what is there now? 0.2 from him to Hudson-Odoi. So that sort of thing becomes tempting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And they do have a bit of a shitty period, Villa. And interesting, probably more than the fixtures, is actually keep an eye on how they're playing at the moment. Because they've changed the last two with Grealish playing in a slightly more advanced position. Obviously didn't stop McGinn scoring against Burnley the week before. But obviously 5 goals scored at the weekend, no attacking returns for John McGinn, and a first yellow of the season.
Yeah.
I can understand why, with sort of Hudson-Odoi around that value and Grealish's change of position, that now becomes a question for FPL managers.
FPL Potter Jamie, favourite breakfast cereal, porridge or fucking oats isn't acceptable. Okay, I understand that.
I'm a Frosties kind of guy.
Oh, I used to be, and I am
with sugar
Frosties guy, but I just think that when I look at them, I'm like, yeah, diabetes in the bowl. So I've gone off Frosties. Cornflakes are good only if two things: you have cold milk, like really ice cold milk, and you eat them really fast, so they're crunchy. Otherwise, Cinnamon Grahams, mate, each and every time. You can't beat Cinnamon Grahams. I would probably reckon Cinnamon Grahams have as much sugar as fucking Frosties.
Do you used to get, when you was a kid, did you have like, you used to get the mini ones? You get like a pack of like 8.
Yeah, the boxes.
You'd have the mini ones, Rice Krispies, Cocoa Pops, all that. Yeah, banging.
So what you'll
always
learn,
be the fucking cornflakes left at the end, mate.
What you'll learn. What have you got in your place? Have you got a big fridge or a little under the counter type fridge?
Big fridge, actually.
Okay.
It's the only big thing in our house.
Yeah. So if you get a little small under the counter fridge, this is a trick I'll teach you, right? So you get the little boxes, the multi variety pack. You ask Harry when he's about 4 or 5, what cereal he wants in the morning. Leave a bowl and a spoon on the table. Pre-opened mini pack of cereal, so you can't spill the whole fucking box, and then a little under a counter fridge, the 1 pint of milk, the small one, pre-opened. He'll come downstairs on the weekend and he can make his own fucking breakfast and you can lie in bed. That's what variety pack cereals were made for.
That's called exceptional parenting.
Yeah, fucking
we always
skills,
manage
mate.
to get a parenting hack into this
skills,
podcast.
Mate. That's how you do it. You just get them set up to be able to sort their own breakfast out, and you'll get your lie-in, mate.
All right, cool. How many times did that go wrong before you got it right?
No, it hasn't.
I don't know. She was doing it. She was teaching him, innit?
Yeah. FPL Achilles wants to know why I am so shit at FPL. Why is Suj so shit at FPL?
Harsh. He doesn't mean he's all right. He listens all the time. Oh no.
Nah, come on, man. If I took my FPL life seriously, fucking hell.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, today's World Mental Health Day, actually, which is quite interesting because if it does have an impact on your mood, right? I was going to say something really dark, like, I was going to say if I really took it, I'd slit my wrist. I wouldn't ever do that, and it's not something to joke about, being that it's World Mental Health Day. But it does raise the question. Like, I just don't take my FPL life and game too seriously. I take it seriously and I try, but it doesn't seem to work very well. And you know what that means? I'm winning the whole thing this year.
If anybody does suffer with any mental health issues,
yes,
do speak up about it. I know, like, the surgery and a general put out some great pods in the summer about that and stuff. And obviously, if you do want to speak to someone about it, Suj's DMs are open.
They are, but I can just point you in the direction of someone that may be able to help. But I just think, you can't take your FPL life too seriously, can you?
My DMs are open.
Are they?
Yeah.
So I'll be sliding into them later.
There's a shot.
FPL Geek, Celtic or Rangers, and reasons, if any.
That can lead to a lot of things, can't it? I think at some point we'll do a podcast on Celtic Rangers.
Yeah.
Probably in about 20 years' time when it means something. Celtic I actually watched a little bit of Celtic on Sunday. They lost at Livingston. I flicked it over and they were 1 down and Livingston scored straight away. I thought, this is funny. I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Celtic or Rangers, I think Rangers will win that league this year. because they've got the better manager, and they've got Jermaine Defoe up front. And Jermaine.
Yes.
And I think Celtic replacing Rodgers and going backwards to Neil Lennon wasn't the right way forward. I think there's more hunger in that Rangers squad at the moment. I don't know if they've got better players. I don't watch enough Scottish football. The pair of them, if they ever came to the English Premier League, would eventually be absolutely massive, particularly Celtic. But if you dropped either of them in our league right now, they would finish in the bottom three.
FPL noun. Does Matt Longstaff's right foot make him a good bencher to replace the likes of Cantwell or Dendoncker?
Say that again.
Matty Longstaff.
Yeah.
Bench fodder.
Oh, what, after one fucking goal?
Because of his right foot.
What, after one goal? I know he had a good shot to hit the bar in the first half as well, but yeah, you know, first game enthusiasm and all that.
Yeah.
What price is he?
4.5, mate.
Nah, go back to Dendoncker at 4.4. Buy El Neni just to sit on your bench at 4.3.
Keeping Messi and Ronaldo as the top two in the world. This is coming in from FPL Royalty. Who is the third best player in the world?
Moussa Sissoko. This would have been funny a month or two ago. It's not funny now.
Nah.
Third best player in the world at the moment.
KDB? It's got to be KDP, surely. The way that he can influence the entire team.
To put him at that level, he's got to go to a next level of, I think, showing stuff really, really big in the Champions League. I think to truthfully put him in that kind of contention for a Ballon d'Or award. Third best player in the world at the moment. On his day, Neymar's phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got some skills. But, I mean, there's a lot of good players out there. Mbappe's such a good striker. I think Kevin De Bruyne, because of his all-round game. Amber Redmond says, how do you two get any work done?
Amber always asks the best questions. I love
This is work. I'll have you know. It's fucking hard work sitting next to James all this time.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I don't know.
When I sent the tweet out when I sent the tweet out for the schedule this week.
Yeah.
And you tweeted me and went, how are we going to get this done? And I tweeted, I don't know. How are we going to get this done? And then Manshell chipped in, how are we going to record this? I was like, I don't know. How are we going to record this? We just do it.
I think we're done now, aren't we?
We just do it.
We're not recording any more this week, are we?
Recording wise.
Or are we?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
I got caught there between something else and EastEnders.
Yeah. You wanted the drums. No,
to be honest, when I read that Colleen Rooney tweet, that's all I could hear in my head at the end was the EastEnders theme.
Yeah. We might record again.
We might.
On the weekend.
We might.
I don't think we should do it on our own. It's boring, just you and me.
People's Poll Monday, live stream Bulgaria, England, Monday night.
Yeah. And AN other pod, maybe. And let's leave it at that.
Okay.
We have done, I have no idea how many, mate, but I reckon we've been through at least 75 questions. Should we just pretend?
Well done, community.
Should we just pretend that we've done 90 questions in 90 minutes just for marketing purposes to make it sound good? And now that we're an hour and a half.
False advertising.
Now that we're 90 minutes into the show, and we already know that only 5% of listeners
have we
make
covered
it this far.
Every single question?
Every single one that was here and that I've been through Twitter as best I can right now and been through. Yeah.
But if they weren't in within 5 hours,
they
fuck
don't.
them.
No, we have everything within 5 hours. We have done.
Well done. That was fun.
Fucking hell, that was hard work.
Let's go home.
Guys, thanks for tuning in to this special Q&A episode 14 of Planet FPL in this international break. Trying to keep you entertained. Trying to keep you entertained, really. What else? I was going to try and chuck in something to do with us having a row like Colleen and
there's more entertainment
Rebecca.
to come. I think, oddly enough, that our schedule next week will be bigger and badder than it was this week.
Is it?
Yes.
Whoa.
That's it. I can't say anymore.
No, indeed. So do stay tuned. Make sure you hit the notification bell and subscribe on all of our channels because there's going to be some content coming out in the next few days that you are not going to want to miss. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in again. Ciao for now.
Q Music Man Child, Jake Child.
Fantasy Football Show.
Good weekend, everyone.
Indeed.
All that shit. Drink beer, be merry.
I think we should call him Baby Jake. because of the TV
Baby
show.
Jake. You just
No,
don't
because
know.
of the TV
No.
show.
Which one?
You don't watch CBeebies. Baby Jake.
It's all I watch is CBBC these days.
Ciao.